Hello everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel, and in today's video we are going to discuss about how some concepts of spirituality are actually destroying people. They are destroying people's growth, and I'm going to talk about that in much detail in today's video. So if you are a person who's thinking that I'm doing everything spiritually right, I'm practicing all the affirmations or energy work, all healing work, I am following everything my guru is telling me, and still nothing is happening. I'm not getting what I want. So, this video is then completely for you. So, watch this video till the end. Now, spirituality in its own sense is a very, very broad concept. And after the personal development industry started to adopt things from the secret book, which is about manifestation and how do you make your dreams into reality. After that, all these things of how to manifest and this stuff started to come with spirituality, the law of attraction. But if you look at the Indian philosophy, we have always been very, very straightforward with spirituality. For everybody who studies the Upanishads, which is an inquiry into who I am, and what this universe is, who is the creator of this universe. The inquiry stops at a point in the Upanishad that I am that. I am what I am looking for. So we say Aham Brahmasmi, I am Brahman. So you can study all the scriptures, you can study Upanishads, you can understand this inquiry. There are lectures, and then if you are a devotionally inclined person, then you can also develop a lot of love for God, whichever God you pray to. All these things keep happening. And that has been the concept of spirituality according to Indian philosophy. And what is the goal of everything? Whether you are studying through the Upanishads, which is called as the Gyan Marg, or you're going through the devotion, you are praying to different gods, which is the Bhakti Marg. There is also Karma Yoga, where you do selfless actions, and there is also Raj Yoga, where you sit and meditate. What is the goal of all of this? How does that help a human being? It simply helps a human being to purify the contents of our mind. Whether you are going through reading, whether you're going through the path of devotion, or you are meditating, it helps you to realize what human mind is, what it is capable of, how it works, and how to use it. The whole intention behind the yogic systems, especially in India, is that you understand your mind body complex. You have been given a very powerful machine. You understand how it works, and you do those actions in the world, or you embody those qualities that, whichever God that you are praying to, so that you develop as a human being. So, technically, there is no technique as such to become spiritual, but there are so many techniques that are important for our own development to perceive whatever knowledge we are trying to perceive, or to create whatever we are trying to create, right? So, that is the essence of spirituality, at least according to the Indian philosophy. Now, what happens is that, whenever all these things come to your mind, for example, your spiritual ego starts to develop, like, I am on the spiritual path, I have started some spiritual practice, that person is not starting the spiritual practice, still the person is lost in the Maya, and I am such a spiritual person. And then the other night, what are you thinking the same night is that, how do I make more money? So, leaving all these tendencies which are still there, which are not bad. If you're a human, you want to survive in this world, you have to make money, right? So it's something that's as human. So what we are saying, on the one hand, we are judging somebody for not being spiritual. We have developed a spiritual ego, and then we are also secretly having so many desires. And if a person who's spiritually really realized, they may have desires to create certain things, but it's not from a place of restlessness and desperation. It's a very, very grounded energy. So people who are spiritually developing, when I say spiritually, it is development happening very rapidly at all the levels of your koshas, which are called as the panchakoshas in the yogic system, you start to get more and more grounded. But all these manifestation affirmation practices, which are one liner practices, which are you are asked to repeat that particular thing, what they are doing, they're just increasing your desire for certain things. Having desire is not bad, but don't label all this drama as spirituality. It's not spirituality. And then it puts you in a very big confusion that what am I trying to do actually, I am trying to run in so many different directions and I'm not going anywhere. At that time, then you again sit back and see what actions need to be done. Everything comes down to this place of taking actions. Okay, I read something from the Upanishads which really, um, opened my mind around things. I learned that I am the universe, I am one with other people. Am I really practicing that compassion? On the one hand, I'm saying I'm one with other people. On the other hand, if I'm in a sales conversation, I'm trying to see how I can get that money from this person. That's completely contradicting from what you're learning, right, in your scriptures. So, if you are really learnt about oneness in the Upanishads, how do you practice oneness in that sales conversation? Is that how do I create that win win, right, with the other person? So, all the knowledge, especially in the Indian systems, that are given to you, it's given to you because how do you can implement that in your real life? People give big examples of karma yogis and karma yoga, and very few people can actually practice karma yoga. Let's say they will make one video upload on YouTube. They're talking about karma yoga, they're talking about Krishna, and now they're worried about how many views they're going to get. So the basic concept that Krishna taught you, that you are not entitled to results, you did not realize that knowledge, and this is happening at a very large scale. There are so many people who are verbally teaching those concepts, but it's not in their own embodiment. So first thing is choose mentors, teachers for yourself who are embodying what they are teaching. And it doesn't have to be those big spiritual jargons or ideas. They can be simple concepts of living well. So if you are a person who's trying to make their life worth living, is wanting to live a life larger than themselves, of course we get attracted to ideas of spirituality and we want to learn all of this. Even I want to learn all of this, but the basic question you should ask yourself is, how am I implementing this in my life? And other goal should be that if you want to create something, let's say I want to build the self leadership academy which I am building, is that how do I keep my mind focused around the visions? How do I keep my goals clear and I start to walk on that path, and I see that how am I serving people, as well as I'm taking the responsibility well of building the self leadership academy. So that time everything that I am reading in different scriptures is getting practically practiced in whatever I am doing in my real life. So people which call as spiritual life and then material life, they're not two different things. You are a whole complete human being, and when there is so much of disintegration and confusions, and you're running between different ideas, and you are bypassing all the negative emotions and the discomfort that's coming your way, that is the idea of destroying yourself with spirituality, which is bypassing your emotions, which is bypassing the fact that you are not focused, you're distracted. And that time a teacher can really, whether it's a mentor or coach, needs to really keep people who have entered this territory focused on the path. And that is why the guru shishya parampara is so important in spirituality, in our traditions. And also even if it's not a spiritual guru, but if you have a teacher, a guidance, a coach, a mentor, somebody, whatever your goal is, it doesn't have to be as big as a spiritual goal, but simple life goals, if you're able to achieve those, then spirituality realizations, these are the things that will anyways happen to you. You would not it cannot be forced. Such things cannot be really forced. And for some people spirituality looks like a very slow process where things are blooming inside of you, like how a lotus blooms slowly. For some people it can be sudden transformations because of some negative events happening in their life, that they lost a dear one, and they confronted that there is something called as death, or someone had a near death experience, and then you start to have questions around it, and then you get curious. So some realizations happen to you at a very fast pace. So, any concept, any idea that makes you restless in your real life and doesn't help you stay grounded is not an idea that you want to entertain in your mind, entertain in your head. So, all the drama that you are doing in your life in the name of spirituality, stop it. And as a coach, I felt it was such an important thing to discuss this in today's video. If you like such stuff where we talk about self improvement and personal development from a very, very practical aspect, and I also help you understand, if I'm telling you something about manifestation, I tell you the logic behind it, because there is a logic behind it and there has to be, because it's something that humans are doing and humans have been doing, right? So it's not a very, very mystical concept. एज आई टोल्ड यू इन द लास्ट वीडियो, कुछ चीज़ों पे अगर मिर्च मसाला डाल के समझाया जाए तो लोगों को ज़्यादा पसंद आती है. सो दैट्स द होल थिंग. सी यू इन द नेक्स्ट वीडियो.